One of the main questions I get asked all the time is what fake tan products I'd recommend. So I said I'd try out the Facebook Live and tell you my top 5 fake tans. So the first one I'm going to talk about here is the Bella Mianta. Anyone that follows the beauty dial will know that Bella Mianta is one of my favourite tanning brands. So there's no surprise there that it shows up first on the top 5 recommended. When they first launched Bella Mianta, they came out with these two products, which was the lotion and the mousse. The lotion was a medium one and the mousse was dark, and now they've recently launched the dark version of the lotion, which is my favourite of the range now. So what I normally do is I use the lotion. It's really dark, so anyone that likes a dark tan, one layer of it is perfect. And then I use it in conjunction then with the medium lotion as well for your face, so you don't have a really dark face, because there's nothing worse than that. It's really, really good. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive than, say, some of the other brands. I think it's in around the €25. I'd have to double check that. But it lasts for ages, and it's paraben free. So anyone that has sensitive skin or anything, any allergies, or if their skin reacts or dries out to any tan, then this would be the one for you to try, because there's no nasties whatsoever in it. And it comes, as I said, in the medium and the dark. So no matter what type of tan you like, it's sure to suit you. It's really, really natural on the skin. It's known as a bridal tan, and you would have heard a lot of brides to be wearing Bella Mianta. Normally they get the spray, or they'd use this for the top up. So if you haven't tried the Bella Mianta, definitely try it out. It's really, really, really good, and one of the main ones that I recommend to anyone. It takes about 6 to 8 hours to develop, so it is a developing tan, but I'm sure they'll bring out a 1 hour one, or I'm sure they've brought out probably a quicker one. It does develop in 2 to 4 hours if you want a kind of a lighter version on it, but I always leave it on because I like a really deep dark tan. So you can get that in pharmacies nationwide, and it's fabulous, especially the dark. The next one I'm going to recommend is the Sally Hansen. When I was thinking about what tans I was going to recommend for you guys, Sally Hansen kept coming up. It's one that I always go to. It's actually one I always go to if I've had a tan disaster. So if my tan didn't turn out well, I need to fix it. Sally Hansen is the one I always go to. The one here on the left is the airbrush legs. That was one of the first ones that came out, and one that everyone had. And it gives you that airbrush kind of leg perfection on your legs, like as if you're wearing tights. Really, really good product. It's €14, and I normally pick up one every time I go into a chemist to have with me. It's really, really good. I don't just use it on the legs either. I kind of use it all over the body. It comes in a light, a medium, a deep, and a tan version. So that's this one I'm talking about here. This is the airbrush legs, the spray. The middle one here is the leg makeup. Now this came out, it must be like 2 or 3 years ago now at the moment, and I was kind of reluctant to try it because I was really set on the airbrush legs, the spray. So I didn't really bother trying it up until a few months ago. And now it's actually bypassed the spray as one of my favourite tans. I sometimes use it on top of another tan, just to give you that kind of makeup look, really, really, really airbrush look. I use it on my legs and across my chest and everything like that. Recently I was going to a wedding and I got a spray tan, and it literally washed off when I got in the shower, so I ended up being as pale as can be. And I ended up putting the leg makeup airbrush legs all over my body, and it was perfect. It's instant. Now the only thing is with either the airbrush legs, the makeup or the lotion or the spray, it can come off on clothes. So if you do have a white top or whatever, it's probably not the best one to wear. But to give yourself a flawless skin, flawless look, the makeup is brilliant. And I use the deep one, which is the dark one. And when you first put it on, it goes on really dark, but once you kind of rub it in, it gives a gorgeous, gorgeous glow. So a really, really perfect one for me to add into any makeup bag. Make sure you get it. It's this one. And then this one here is the new one they've launched. I actually launched this on the RT Today show when it first came out, the first week it hit the shops. This is the Sally Hansen airbrush sun tan. So it's an instant tan and develops in an hour. On the show we put a little bit on Maura's hand. I don't know whether you remember it, but it gives an instant colour and it develops then over the hour. And again, it's really, really, really natural. It doesn't give the airbrush look as much as say the other two do, but you can use them in conjunction. but are really, really good. I mean, I think the prices on them are really good as well. I think they're in at about the €14. I'd have to double check the price of the 1 hour, but these are definitely around the €14. So an oldie but a goodie, and I definitely want to, if you haven't tried it, definitely try it out, or even take it for your makeup bag. The third one I'm going to recommend is Tan Organic. I just have two of the products here. I have the Self Tan Lotion and I have the Self Tan Oil. But they have a range of other products, like they've recently come out with a mousse as well. Tan Organic is completely organic, hence the name. It's an Irish brand, and it's one of the first eco-certified organic tans. So it's ideal for anyone that's pregnant. A lot of people be afraid to use different tans and stuff when they're pregnant, but with Tan Organic it's perfect. My favourite in the range is this one. It's the Self Tanning Oil. So this is the first ever tanning oil in the world, and it's from an Irish brand, which is really fantastic. You add this on with no tanning mitt or anything. You just put it on as if you're putting on a body oil. Again, it's a little bit more expensive, so it's $24.99 as far as I know, depending on where you get it. It's available in pharmacies nationwide. And you don't need any tanning mitt or anything. You just put it on. It'll build up gradually, so it kind of builds up overnight. It can be used on the face and the body, but there's also a face oil version of it if you don't want to use that one. But it's one of my absolute favourites, and I've given it to a few of my friends as well to try, and it gives a really, really, really gorgeous golden tan, and one of my favourites. They've also taken on Rosanna Davidson as their ambassador recently, so her tan is always flawless. So if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for all of us. And then this one here then is the original product, which is the Self Tanning Lotion, and this goes on with a colour guide. So for anyone maybe that might be afraid of streaks or anything like that, or is new to tanning, maybe try this one first, because it has a colour guide so you can see where it's going, so you have no streaks. This one here on the right is really good for travelling as well, because you don't need a tanning mitt or anything like that. You can just slap it on, and it gives really, really natural. What I normally do is apply this every 3 to 4 days for a year-long tan, and it comes off really natural as well, so it wouldn't give you any of that kind of scaly skin as it comes off. And yeah, it lasts for a good few days, really natural. There's also a few different versions of it. There's the mousse and the liquid, as I said, and and there's no fake tan smell either, so really, really good, and it's Irish. The fourth one I'm going to recommend is He-She. So He-She is an oldie that I used to use years and years ago, and I just kind of stopped using it because, not because I didn't like it anymore, but more so because I kind of forgot about it. And it's only recently come back on my radar in the last, say, 2 or 3 months. I particularly love the Gradual Tan. I haven't got any of it left. I have been using it, but it's all gone, so that's why I don't have it here. But the other one I use here is the Express Liquid Tan. And it goes on like a really dark liquid. I think it's around €26 for the liquid tan. It gives a gorgeous. This one here is the medium colour, but you can get it in the dark version as well. It gives a gorgeous colour, really, really natural. Again, this would be a lovely one for brides, or if you were a wedding guest. The lotion is fabulous. But there's also the gel version of it, which is fine for face and body as well. So if you suffered from dry skin, if the liquid one was a little bit dry, you could use the gel instead. It develops in 7 to 8 hours, and you can also apply a second layer or third layer it up as you go if it's not dark enough. And they've also launched a 1 hour rapid tan as well. I've yet to try that, but by going by these two, they're fabulous. So I'm sure the other ones will be just as good. So He-She, yeah, another oldie but a goodie, and one that if you used to use it and you haven't tried it in a while, go back and try it, because you'll be really impressed with how good it is. The fifth one I'm going to recommend is Cocoa Brown. So how could you have a top 5 fake tans and not include Cocoa Brown? The two I've picked out here is the Cocoa Brown, the 1 hour dark, and the Gradual Bronze. So as we know, Marissa Carter created the first ever 1 hour tan, and since then loads of other brands have gone ahead and copied her, and people don't have time to be waiting around for for their tans to dry. So they've all kind of followed suit on Cocoa Brown and developed these 1 hour tans. But the Cocoa Brown one is one of my favourites. The extra dark one has just come out as well. The 1 hour extra dark, which I haven't tried yet, and I'm actually dying to try it. I will try it. But the 1 hour dark is one of my go-to tans all the time. If you've forgotten to put on tan or last minute tanning, the 1 hour dark is perfect. You put it on, and within, I normally leave it on for the 3 hours to get a really dark version. But you can leave it on for the 1 hour to get a lighter version, and 2 hours and 3 hours for it to get darker. With the Cocoa Brown, it doesn't smell, so you can leave it on. However, I would always wash it off. It's just something that I have in my head, that I always wash the tan off. So what I'd normally do is, if I was going out, I'd put it on, leave it for the hour, 2 hours. If I could leave it 3 hours, great, and then I wash it off, and it gives a really, really, really gorgeous deep tan that's really, really natural. So there's no orange pigmentation in it at all. The best thing about it is it's $7.99 in pennies. This is another one, as I said, that I always buy whenever I'm in pennies. Throw it into my makeup bag if I'm going on holidays or anything. It's great for a top up. Really, really good. As I said, it's one of the original 1 hour tans, so everyone has just followed suit. And the Gradual Bronze, again, is another favourite of mine. I often use this on my face because it's really, really hydrating on the skin. Some tans can dry out the skin, which for anyone that suffers from dry skin, which I do, or dehydrated skin, it can be really awful then once your makeup sits on it. So the Gentle Bronze is brilliant. What I normally do is put on the 1 hour tan, wear that, and then top it up with the Gentle Bronze then as the days go on. As it keeps the body hydrated, it extends the tan, and also kind of accentuates the golden bronze. So that's $7.99 in pennies or pharmacies nationwide, and definitely one to pick up if you haven't tried it. So that's my top 5, and I was kind of struggling to pick my top 5, so I kind of snuck in a 6th one, and that is the Gentle Bronze Radiance Magic Drop. So that's this little guy here. So what this is it's perfect for any brides to be, and that's why I wanted to throw it in, because I've been searching for something like this. You mix it in with it's really highly concentrated, and you mix it in. That's why it's so small, and you think, God, you wouldn't get anything like that. It's highly concentrated, so you mix it in with your own moisturizer. So I've recommended this to an awful lot of brides who may have gotten a spray tan, or may have done their tan a day or two before the wedding, and then the night before they realise it's not dark enough, and rather than applying another layer or ruining what they have, they use this little guy here. So basically, you put 1 or 2 drops into your body moisturizer and put it on, and it'll just bring up that glow. Obviously, the more drops you put into the body moisturizer, the more concentrated the tan is going to be, and therefore the darker it's going to be. It's €25. It's Bronze Express, and it is Magic Radiance Drops. It's €25, but it's so worth it. It lasts forever because you're only putting in 1 or 2 drops at a time, and it's really, really good. So as I said, ideal for brides to be, or anyone who's kind of afraid of tanning, or wants to top up an existing tan but doesn't want to put on too much. So there you go. There's my top 6 fake tans. If your favourite is there, then happy days. If not, make sure to go and try out some of the ones that I suggested. There's loads more that I love, and you'll see them on the blog on the Beauty Lab, but these are my top 5 at the moment, and they're all really, really good and really, really highly recommended. Thanks guys, cheers. Share the video if you get a chance.